I would like to welcome to the podcast Joseph Humire. He is the director of the Center for a Secure Free Society and visiting fellow of the Heritage Foundation. He's a foreign policy and national security expert who analyzes transregional threat networks. His social media, you can follow him at X at JM Humire, and then Instagram at JM Humire. The website is www.securefreedomsociety.org. Securefreesociety.org. I hope I didn't get that wrong. We will have it on the bottom of your screen. Joseph, thank you for making the time to be on the podcast today. Your expertise is really appreciated to try to make sense of all this terrorism, not just in the Middle East, but right here in our own backyard.
Well, first of all, thank you, Debbie. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast. My best to Dinesh as well. This is something I think that many people, when they think of things that happen in the Middle East, whether it's Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, terrorism, the current conflict in Gaza, they think that that's isolated to that part of the world. And it's really not. If you study the history of the Iranian Revolution, even the history of Hezbollah, they truly view themselves as a global presence, as a global actor. Hezbollah, for instance, when you look at their flag, it doesn't just have a map of Lebanon on their flag. It has a map of the world. And why does it have a map of the world? Because Hezbollah, from the very beginning, from 1982, viewed themselves as a global actor that was going to penetrate Lebanese communities worldwide. So that hits us very close to home, not just within the continental United States. We have Hezbollah in the United States. There's been plenty of cases that Department of Justice, the FBI, the DEA, and all the law enforcement authorities have dismantled, have busted about Hezbollah operators in the United States. One very particular one, Ali Karani, the Ali Karani case that got this guy got convicted and sentenced, I think, to 20 some years in prison for basically preparing terrorist actions out of New York. So this is a very recent case. This doesn't even go all the way back to 9/11. But in essence, I think they're also very present south of the U.S. southern border in Latin America and the Caribbean. I imagine we're going to get into that a bit more. But this is something that got very little attention 10 years ago. Has got increasingly more attention, but I think, as me and you will probably agree, not enough attention by U.S. authorities and just by the general public at large.
Yes, good. So let me ask you, why is it then that they see, for example, the history in Latin America, where they've been in Latin America? Why is it that they pick like places like Venezuela or Bolivia or Argentina? Why can't they just come straight to, like, say, Mexico and ignore all that region?
Well, I think two reasons. One, they did go to Mexico, so they're in Mexico.
So okay.
They are in Mexico, but beyond that, I think to your question, which is they have a very robust presence in the south of South America. There's this kind of infamous, unfortunately, area called the tri-border area, which is the intersection of Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. This is a border area. And there's large Lebanese communities in these places. Now, just like Lebanon, right? We're not condemning the Lebanese people. The Lebanese people are victims of Hezbollah's extortion and Hezbollah's bullying, which is basically like a mafia. So what happens in Lebanon doesn't stay in Lebanon. It actually extends to all the Lebanese communities worldwide. And in South America in particular, some very large ones in Brazil and Argentina and in Paraguay. So they staked their hub initially back then and carried out, I mean, this is something that people don't really, I think, understand the magnitude, carry out the largest Islamist terrorist attack in the history of the Western Hemisphere prior to 9/11. I said before 9/11, the largest Islamist terrorist attack happened in Argentina, and it happened twice. Happened in 1992 and in 1994, where Hezbollah first bombed the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires in 1982, and then bombed the Jewish cultural center called the Amia in 1994, collectively killing 114 people. But if you take us back to that time period, no one in the 1990s, in the early 1990s, believed that Hezbollah could do something like that overseas. They had carried out bombings in Lebanon, the Beirut bombings, the infamous ones in the 80s. They've carried out some bombings in the near abroad. But no analyst, no intelligence professional thought that Hezbollah had that level of capability in Latin America on the other side of the world. And I say that because I feel like we're in a similar situation today where people really underestimate how far Hezbollah can carry out its terrorist activities, even though they already did so in the 1990s. So Hezbollah stake themselves in the south of South America. But there's a point of inflection, Debbie, and I imagine we're going to get more into this, which was with the rise of Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, because he provided Hezbollah something that previously they didn't have, which was state cover and state support. Much like Iran does for them in the Middle East and around the world, Venezuela became like a second Iran for Hezbollah, providing them all the logistics and the concealment and the cover support so that they can conceal their illicit activities in Latin America.
Wow, this is really interesting. I want to, in the next segment, I want to get into how they use their cultural propaganda to secure the region, but we'll be right back with more. Dinesh and I are on a great health journey, but we still struggle to eat enough fruits, veggies, and fiber. Lucky for us, we discovered Balance of Nature. And what a better way to get all your fruits and veggies plus fiber than with Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies are made from fresh whole produce right here. Their produce is powdered after an advanced vacuum cooled process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrition content. And the Balance of Nature fiber and spice is a proprietary blend of fiber and 12 spices for overall and digestive health. So, like Dinesh and I have, start your journey to better health right now. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com to get your 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America. Again, that's balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code America.